Good morning. I'm down here in the basement wood shop this morning, and I've got a little crude photo studio set up, and I'm photographing some items to put on my Etsy shop. And that reminds me that there have been questions in the past about selling one's work. Should you sell your work? Should you wait to sell your work? And I thought I would address some of those questions today. There are lots of questions and lots of issues when it comes to the business of blacksmithing. And I'm not going to get real heavily into that, but I will do a few videos regarding selling your work, which we'll discuss today, and pricing your work, and maybe some of the places you might try to sell, and some things related to higher production levels, how to build jigs and things like that. I'm not going to get real deep into that because mostly I want this channel to concentrate on the art and the craft of blacksmithing and not so much the business of blacksmithing. But I recognize that sometimes selling your work is what pays for your blacksmithing addiction or habit, as it might be. So let's talk a little bit about whether you should or should not sell your work. Well, that's really a pretty good question. And it's not necessarily the easiest to answer, although I definitely have an opinion on it, or I wouldn't be doing the video. But start with, what's your purpose in blacksmithing? Do you just want to explore blacksmithing and learn and make things for yourself? Do you have a budget that allows you to do that without being forced to sell things just to buy the things you need to make other things? Well, that's really what it comes down to in my mind, is not selling your work gives you the freedom to do what you want, to take as much time as it takes to perfect your skills and learn how to be a blacksmith. If you don't have a profit motive, if you don't need an hourly wage, then it doesn't matter how long it takes. If you want to make a fireplace poker with a nice little basket twist handle, and it takes you 10 hours to make this, that's okay. You spent 10 hours in the shop, you learned something, you got to work on skills, you made something practical, something useful, something you can be proud of for the rest of your life. This will outlast you. It will probably outlast your grandchildren if nobody abuses it. But can you afford to do that? And that's the issue most of us have. We like blacksmithing. We would like to just blacksmith. That's really the goal, is just to spend time in the shop and enjoy being a blacksmith. But unfortunately, this isn't cheap. Power hammers don't come cheap. Even if you build your own treadle hammer, that's not cheap. Anvils cost money. Fuel costs money. And the deeper you get into blacksmithing, the more of this stuff you're going to want, and the more money you're going to spend on supplies and tools and fuel and equipment. And at some point, you need to pay for that. And that's where selling your work comes in. Now, when you first start off, I think you need to find some way to pay for the craft of blacksmithing besides selling your work. Don't go out and buy a forge, an anvil, a hammer, and a vise with the sole purpose of going into business as a blacksmith. If you don't already know how to forge, it's going to take you years before you can make a real profit blacksmithing. On the other hand, if you've been making some pokers and you're finally getting kind of good at it, you've got one for your wood stove, one for your fireplace, you got a couple you take camping with you, you've given them to your brother-in-law and your sister and your parents for Christmas gifts, and a couple of people at work have seen them and said, "Ooh, I'd like to buy one of those." You know, that's a pretty reasonable thing. Go ahead and sell those if you're proud of them, if they're good work, and it's something you don't mind being out there in the public eye for other people to see. You only need so many pokers, but if you're having fun making them, they might as well go someplace useful. And if you can make enough money to pay for your materials and pay for your fuel so that you can keep making things, by all means, I think selling it is the way to go. And I think for most people, ultimately, you're going to want to sell some things just to keep from being buried in the mountain of work that you're creating. It's amazing how much stuff you make, how many little door handles you make just because you're trying out different things. And if they're good and if they're worth selling, you might as well sell them if you don't have a use for them yourself. Same thing goes for S-hooks and campfire sets, and if you're a knife maker and you've already made all the knives you need, I think it's okay to sell that stuff, but make sure that it's good, make sure you're proud of it, make sure the customer is going to be happy to have paid for it, which brings up the next issue is what do you charge for it? And we're going to do a whole separate video on how to price your work and some of the issues you need to think about when pricing your work. But as far as selling, I think it's somewhat inevitable. I think most people are going to sell, and you start by selling to friends or family members who want to have a gift to give to somebody else, maybe your neighbors, and then maybe you branch out into craft shows. And we'll talk about some of that stuff later, but start small. Don't run out the day after you start your first fire and set up an Etsy shop or a website or sign up for the local craft show. You're probably not ready. Perfect your skills. Well, maybe not even perfect. Hone your skills to some extent so that you make good products before you start selling them, and then start thinking about selling. So that's how I started off blacksmithing. I was making things that I could use at the forge. I didn't have an actual shop space. The forge was outdoors, and I made tools to use at the forge, pokers, fire rakes, shovels. I made a few things for gifts. And then as I had progressed and I started getting better, I was looking into making knives, and I had sold a few knives, and I attended my first rendezvous. And we've talked about this in a previous video. And at that rendezvous, I took some of the knives that I had made and I traded those for things that I needed. And that's sort of the first time I was really profiting and getting something that I needed in exchange for something that I had made. And after that, each year going to these various Mountain Man rendezvous, I would take more and more stuff until I got to the point that that was a major point of going to the rendezvous, was to make product to sell. And that really helped fund this stuff. It's making product that pays for this equipment. Very little of this at this point has come out of my pocket. Initially, that's how you have to pay for it. You have to have the savings. You have to work overtime at work, get a second job, find a way to pay for the equipment. But once you start selling stuff, you can start paying yourself back for that. You can make it so blacksmithing isn't just a way to spend money, but it might actually put a little bit of money in the family budget if you're lucky. That's not going to happen right away. Initially, just plan to offset some of your expenses and keep from being buried in 1,000 S-hooks because you made a bunch of S-hooks just for the experience. I hope that sounds reasonable. I hope that makes some sense. But really, my feeling is, in an ideal world, you don't have to sell stuff and you can just concentrate on your skills. In the real world, most of us are going to sell things, and I think that's a reasonable thing to do. And we will talk about doing things in a more production-oriented mindset in the future, and we will talk about pricing in the future. If it applies to you, I hope you can use the information. In the meantime, get out to your shop, make something, whether it's for you, whether it's for a gift, or whether you're at the point that you're making things to sell. Stay safe, wear your safety glasses, and we'll see you later.